We see a wild rabbit running toward our protagonist, but it is quickly taken out and a stone is dropped by the monster. Two more rabbits charge at him, but once again they are easily sliced in half. He comments that he isn't as out of shape as he thought, and that maybe he can do well as a swordsman. A trail of magic stones is left behind. Soon after, 5 goblins appear, and he thinks it's time to test out support magic. He uses a spell that increases strength, and it's explained that support magic can strengthen people or their equipment and can be cast either on party members or on the caster themselves. The goblins charge at the protagonist, but he cuts them all down with a single strike. More goblins come his way, and the story repeats itself, with him taking them all out with a single attack. The last goblin tries to run away but is also eliminated. The protagonist explains that the weakness of support magic is its duration, and at that moment, his spell wears off. Soon after, another 5 goblins appear. He activates support magic once again and continues to take them out. It's explained that each individual has a different duration for the magic, and in his case, it lasts 3 minutes. Enchanters who use support magic are always racing against time. Going back to the past, we see our protagonist being kicked out of the hero's party. He asks the hero, named Oliver, if this is some kind of joke, but Oliver denies it. Orhun says that they are childhood friends. Oliver comments that, since they're from the same village, he gave him several chances, but from now on, he won't be able to keep up with the group's pace. Anneli says to just kick him out already, and Derek comments that he's just a burden. Oliver states that Orhun simply isn't strong enough, and because of that, he's out of the group. Orhun explains that his group and Oliver's, formed 8 years ago, reached rank S in just a few years, and were the first to reach the 94th floor of the Southern Great Dungeon. For these reasons, people started calling them the Heroes Party. He comments that maybe he's not strong enough, but that the same goes for all of them. Oliver interrupts him and says that they didn't understand how important it was to have an enchanter capable of using support magic. But after seeing other rank S groups in joint raids, they realized how amazing they were, and that Orhun's support magic is very weak. Orhun counters by saying that his support magic is weak because he is a swordsman, and for that reason, he created his own original magic. Derek tells him to shut up, saying that he changed classes because Oliver was better with the blade. Anneli adds that Orhun isn't better than Oliver with a sword, and also isn't a good sorcerer. Orhun tries to defend himself by saying that he switched because the group needed an enchanter, and he was the one most suited for it. Besides that, he invented his own style of magic, and thanks to that, they were able to reach deeper levels of the dungeon. Oliver interrupts him again, saying they've already found a replacement enchanter. The short girl comments that they're the hero's party and need to move forward, and that they couldn't do that with him. Orhun says that if there's no place for him, he'll go do something else, and leaves the room. Anneli comments that he can use both sword and magic, but only up to rank A at best. Back to the present day, we see the protagonist saying that he will become an adventurer capable of using both magic and sword at the same time, and that no one will ever call him useless again. He registers his adventurer card at the teleportation crystal, which allows him to start from the 7th floor next time. Suddenly, 4 adventurers come running desperately toward the crystal. One of them comments that this shouldn't have happened, while the leader says there was nothing they could do since they couldn't handle so many orcs. Another one comments that it was wrong to leave the girl behind, but the leader replies that if they had stayed, they all would have been wiped out, and that he made the right decision since the girl had only joined the group that day and he needed to prioritize the lives of his older friends. Orhun thinks that he shouldn't get involved in this, since she simply had bad luck joining them. But he knows how much it hurts to be abandoned. Then, he turns to the leader and asks if they left a girl to die. They ask who he is, and Orhun simply says that they abandoned the girl and are now making excuses instead of saving her. The blonde-haired adventurer says that even if he had stayed, he wouldn't have been able to do anything, and then charges at Orhun. Orhun knocks him to the ground and says that since he's useless just lying there, he wants to know where the girl is, because he's going to save her. Then we see the girl in a dead-end spot, surrounded by orcs, begging them to stay away from her. She casts a barrier spell, but she knows she won't be able to maintain it with so many orcs attacking at once. She calls out for her sister, and at that moment, the barrier breaks. However, Orhun arrives just in time, casting a wind spell. He runs toward the orcs, blocks one of their attacks, and casts a support spell on himself. The girl is shocked to see him using support magic, and right after he cuts an orc in half. She can't figure out whether he's a swordsman or an enchanter. Orhun casts another support spell on his sword and continues slicing the orcs in half. With a sword technique, he cuts down several orcs at once, leaving the girl shocked at how strong he is. Shortly after, all the orcs are eliminated. Orhun asks if she is okay. She collapses to the ground, relieved to be alive, and starts to cry. Now outside, she thanks him and introduces herself as Sophia Claudel. Orhun recognizes the surname Claudel and notices the cloak she is wearing. He introduces himself as Orhun, and Sophia comments that it's a wonderful name, asking if he would like to have dinner with her as a way to thank him. Orhun replies that he didn't save her expecting anything in return, but she insists and he ends up accepting. When he arrives at the place, he notices that the restaurant bears the same crest he saw on her cloak and clearly understands that she belongs to the Night Sky Silver Rabbits, one of the largest guilds in the Kingdom of Noritand. Inside the restaurant, Sophia meets her sister, who gets annoyed when she sees Orhun near her, saying it's too soon for her to have a boyfriend. When she realizes who he is, she comments that it's been a long time since she last called his name, Selma Claudel. Sophia asks if they know each other, and Orhun replies that they do, since Selma is the leader of an S-rank party of the Silver Rabbits and the strongest enchanter on the continent. He explains that it was she who made enchanters famous, creating the idea that each party member has different roles: attackers to take down enemies, defenders to protect the group, and supporters in the rear. This completely changed the way adventurers think about exploring dungeons. He comments that, in the heroes group, it was no different, and for that reason, he ended up becoming an enchanter. Orhun says that the reason they called him useless was because they compared him to Selma inside the dungeon. He states that, just by looking at Sophia, he imagined they were from the same clan, but he didn't think they were sisters. Selma then asks why he is going after her 14-year-old sister. Orhun replies that she got it all wrong, as he really was going to have dinner with Sophia, but with pure intentions. Selma retorts, asking if he means that her sister isn't good enough for him. Sophia intervenes, asking Selma not to be rude to the person who saved her life. Selma asks if Sophia went to the dungeon alone, and she confirms. Selma says that they were going to the Great Dungeon the day after tomorrow, and Orhun realizes that Sophia had been exploring in secret from the clan. Selma comments that the important thing is that she's okay, and that from now on, she shouldn't go out alone. Sophia agrees. Selma thanks Orhun for saving her sister, and apologizes for having been rude. She mentions that she hasn't seen him since the attack, and Sophia asks if they know each other. Orhun says they met during last month's attack. Selma explains that they are both sorcerers, so they were together, and that he helped a lot. Sophia comments that it seems like they've known each other for a long time. Selma asks if Sophia doesn't know Orhun, and she wonders if he's famous. Selma replies that he used to be part of the heroes group, which leaves Sophia desperate. Orhun tells her not to be nervous, especially since he's no longer part of the group. Selma wonders why they let someone so exceptional leave, and Orhun replies that they reached an agreement and it was better for both sides. Selma asks if he's free at the moment, and Orhun confirms. But before she can ask anything else, he says he doesn't want to join any group right now. Selma explains that he misunderstood, and says she has the perfect job for him: to accompany them on the teaching expedition the next day. Orhun asks what that is, and Selma explains that it's meant to train new recruits. He wonders why she wants him to go along, and Selma explains that a rank A group will lead the expedition, which will last 3 days and go up to the 50th floor. Orhun comments that it would take rookies 6 months to cover that distance and that it's a crazy schedule. Selma admits that it really is crazy, but they'll take the shortest route because the sponsors are insisting. Orhun comments that it seems like the Silver Rabbits are in a tough spot, but the plan is so risky that she should have turned down the sponsors. He realizes that this way, the new recruits, who wouldn't stand a chance against a floor boss on their own, could explore deeper floors, strengthening the clan as a whole. Selma is shocked to realize that he understood everything with just a few pieces of information and notes, that he's smarter than she thought. It's explained that, in dungeons, you have to defeat floor bosses that appear every 10 floors in order to advance. Normally, rookies get injured or die in these battles, but if a veteran adventurer defeats the boss, the rookies can register their crystals and move on to the next floor. For this reason, Selma wants Orhun to go with them. Orhun comments that it seems like an important mission for the Silver Rabbits and wonders if it's really okay for an outsider to accompany them. Selma then takes his hand and says that she respects him. Orhun is shocked by the revelation, since she is the strongest enchanter in the kingdom, while he was just expelled from the heroes party for being considered weak. He says he's happy with the invitation, but that he already has other plans. Sophia then comments that she will also be joining the expedition and that she would really like him to go with her. Orhun asks for some time to think and makes it clear that now he is not an enchanter, but a swordsman. Selma is surprised. Orhun says that she respects him as an enchanter, but if he joins the expedition, it will be as a swordsman. Selma, still surprised, agrees, thinking that if something goes wrong, he can always return to the role of enchanter. She says that if he accepts, he should show up at the Silver Rabbits HQ the next morning. Later, Orhun goes to an establishment and has tea with the owner. The man comments that the shop is doing well and thanks Orhun for promoting it after becoming a great adventurer. Orhun apologizes to the old man and says that he is no longer part of the heroes party. The owner replies that it doesn't matter because he is grateful to Orhun and always will be. He gets emotional upon hearing this. The old man says he knows how hard Orhun worked to get where he is, and that he's sure Orhun's future will be bright, assuring him that he'll always be by his side. And that's how episode 1 ends. Don't forget to subscribe and comment on what you thought of this anime.